Yo, Caesar here, and welcome back to IRL Division 2. This is round 5 officially, but this is the fourth race of the season as we had massive lobby issues in Hungary last week, so we had to skip that one for now. And yeah, this is race 4 in at Sochi Autodrome in Russia. And along with me tonight is once again my co-commentator or commentator in crime, who was there last weekend as well, but yeah, just couldn't be there to commentate. It's Malav, or you can beat me. So, hello and welcome.
Good evening, Caesar. How are you doing?
Yeah, all well. Hopefully, the stream, not the stream, but the lobby stays put.
Yeah, absolutely. Praying to the F1 and the Codemaster gods to just hope that we have a glitch-free session for the next 75-80 minutes or so.
Yeah, we do hope that, as Rohit sets the banker of 133.6 and Thakur has already crashed out. There's a Red Bull behind him. Is that Redstone? He had invalidated his lap, or he has already his next lap. So not the best of start for a few. Who else is on the hot lap? There's a Merc, I see, and that was Ace. 2 seconds quicker. So what's the prediction for pole here tonight?
Well, I'm expecting people to go into the 130s for sure, maybe even 129s by the end of the session. We'll have to wait and see. But pretty fast guys over here as well, despite Ishan moving to Division 1. But as we see someone, that's Mayank, who has almost gone into the 130s. It's a 131.0 from him. If Redstone up goes, rather it was HP who went P3. But yeah, my prediction will be someone in the 129s, maybe towards the end of the session, but we will have to wait and see. This is a long track, so a lot of time to be gained, but also a lot of time to be lost if we make mistakes in one of these corners.
Yeah, 129 will be a pretty tough time to beat if anyone is able to put that lap in, but should be interesting. I think the pole time here should be in the mid 130s. I mean, 129s could be a challenge for these guys, but I think mid 130s or maybe a few guys into a low 130s should be the pole time tonight. And I think guys like Mayank Jinsanity, who's making his season debut with us in F1, or should I say, is this his IRL debut in F1?
It could be. I'm not sure. Is it a season debut? I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, it's definitely. If it is season debut, then it is his IRL debut. So F1 at least.
Yeah. So we could see Mayank, Jin, and a few other guys, and we could even see surprise from one of the sets. So both of them who showed pretty good pace over the last couple of weekends, as Quick Killer is about to cross the final corner, who did get a pretty good toe at the main straight at the start of the lap where he goes P8, so just in front of his teammates. So it's 8 and 9 for the Haas boys.
Yeah, Quick Killer is the driver who has joined the Haas team, replacing Ishan, who moved to Division 1 rather. So that's a swap, and he will be teaming up with Kulkarni. So that's an interesting team combination as well, because since Sid has shown, as you said, great pace in the past, I think last time around he was quite good in the qualifying. I'm not entirely sure where he finished the race, but it was a good qualifying for him last time around in Hungary.
Yeah, I think from the previous season as well, we've seen a few drivers here, or quite a lot of drivers in fact, improve their pace, and I think that's what we're getting to see here. So and with the couple of divisions, of course, and a lot of guys around their pace, as Rohit crosses the finish line. What does he do? 133.2 slots into P11. So yeah, so with the competition so close, I think that motivates these guys to practice maybe even more. And that's certainly what I did at the early stages of my league racing career. Trying to beat those guys who were maybe a tenth or two quicker and just sweating it out. And just trying to be as quick as possible. So you never know, or I might be the only one who did that. So could be anything.
As long as it pays off, I think it's definitely paid off for you. So let's see these guys over the years. If they stick around, I'm sure all of them will be much faster than what they are right now.
Yep. So let's see. Let's see. So who do you predict will be on pole here out of these drivers?
I think it's time for HVP to take that pole position again after Spain. I know he's 6 tenths off the pace right now, but it could be that we could see him on pole right now. Let's see how his rest of the qualifying turns out. I think they still have 2 more runs to go, and since this is the race where a standard one stop should be the ideal strategy, if not for any safety cars, something like that. So let's see. I think they have a lot of tires to choose from as well, because most of them will be going for the balanced strategy or maybe even softer that way.
Yeah, I mean HPP. I think he had the pole at was that Australia? I think where he got that pole.
No, Mayank was on pole in Australia. HVP was on pole in Spain. Barcelona.
Spain. All right. Yeah, Spain. Yes. So I mean, yeah. So he has that pace to put his car up there in the front. So yeah, maybe he could challenge Mayank and Jin. He did a 131.2. It did Sid. Oh, so that was pretty decent lap, as I said. Yeah, that's a pretty good lap. So just like what we had the battle for fastest Shahs up until last season, do you think we could have a battle for fastest Sid?
I think that's a battle I'm looking forward to this season, because since Sid Venkatesh has gained a lot of pace, it seems like over the winter break, if we can call it that, and he is doing really well right now. He just needs to ensure that he puts in those performances consistently, and since this is a very close division in terms of pace and in terms of competition, we could see a good battle even for the championship. I know it's too early to talk about championship right now. It's just 4 rounds, technically 5, but in reality just 4 rounds in. But I can see a lot of promise for the season in terms of how close it can be for the championship.
Yeah, Sid Venkatesh has really upped his pace in this new season. So we're on board with Thieves. Someone who we haven't given much attention to in quali or in the race, so we're on board with him, and currently he is P13. That's quite a lucky number for me, as Mayank. No, he didn't improve. So yeah, so Thieves, the faster of the faster. So yeah, Jin has already set his pace. So what am I saying? So Thieves, yeah. So I'm not really sure how much up he is on his sector time. We should know that in a few seconds. But do you? I mean, he finds it difficult to be in the top 10 of the races. Do you think this season he will score his first points in IRL?
I think it's definitely possible, because if I'm not wrong, he has turned off a few assists as well. He was running full traction earlier, and he's on medium traction right now, if I'm not wrong, but I think I'll have to confirm that. And I don't know, from personal experience, turning off assists makes you faster, as he invalidates his lap time at the final corner, but wouldn't have counted anyway. He was slower by 3 tenths. But I think it's very much possible, especially on a track like this, Russia. I know we have a full lobby here tonight, but Russia is known for first lap incidents, and if you get into a really good track position and probably have DRS on the car side, it is not that straightforward to pass as well. So if he has a little bit luck going on as well for him, he might score his first points today. But yeah, definitely in this season.
Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, he is. So yeah, that's something which is honestly not surprising. I think he might have made a mistake. He's gone quicker by almost 9 tenths on his previous lap. So we are already into the 30s, and yeah, as you said, 29 seems to be a little bit aspirational here. But yeah, mid 30s could be a possibility.
Yeah, Sid currently crowding on the final corner. Really matched this, as I said. He goes half a tenth quicker, but still not quick enough. As you see, he's giving a tow once again to Quick Killer. This is his debut race in Division 2. He was a Division 1 driver, but he has been swapped with Ishan, who is not here, who was... I mean, there's no harm in saying it and denying the fact that he was dominating this division at the time he had the clean race. So, Ishan has
Oh,
moved up
absolutely.
and Quick Killer has taken his place. So you think Quick Killer has that consistency in his race pace to challenge for the podium?
Oh yeah, he definitely has a consistency. I think where he probably needs to be a little careful is in terms of racecraft, or rather fighting other cars for position. But he definitely has the pace, and there's a reason he was in Division One. Probably, I mean, we know there's a weird glitch I'm seeing for Quick Killer right now on my stream, at least on my POV. But yeah, he definitely has the goods. And honestly, it's really difficult to call any podium on any track right now because we see a lot of fast guys. We'll see how Quick Killer matches up to these people because it's a different kind of a challenge to fight drivers who are around your pace. If you're driving your own race, so let's say if I was, as I had the opportunity to in season 3, because I was usually running P4, P5, and at least in the latest stage of the race, I wasn't really fighting anyone. So you're doing your own race, you are on a different kind of a mindset, if you're in a different zone. But if you are fighting other people, you have to be more aware, more alert, maybe more aggressive. So it will be an interesting challenge for Quick Killer as well, I think.
Yeah, it should be, as he improves his position by just one, and so did KZ Mouse Monster before Quick Killer put in his lap. So people are improving. The track is evolving as the time goes on. So we could, I mean, 30.7 is still the what's that word?
Beatable?
It's not. I mean, it's the current pole position time. I'm not getting that exact word. I don't know why. So. But I think, I mean, guys like Mayank and Jin, maybe Sid and Sumer, or not Sumi, he's yet to put in a lap, who joined the lobby once the quali started. So not sure if he will keep his position wherever he qualifies on, as the game is known to glitch the latecomers to the back of the grid. So he's someone who showed some really good race pace at Spain and had his first podium in his debut league race ever. So yeah, I'm really curious to see how he performs tonight, and if he's able to challenge, as he presses through that left-hander, to challenge for podium and maybe a possible win.
Yeah, he is someone who's very consistent. I did have a battle with him in Spain, the race which you mentioned, and he was pretty consistent, was keeping me on my toes. Despite being in dirty air behind my car. So I think he could be one of those people who probably will be starting from the back of the grid tonight, but he has the potential and the capability to make it to the. I'm not sure if a race win is on the cards, but definitely getting some really good points on here because he might be also on an alternate strategy. Saurabh Nayak has been disqualified, Caesar. Not entirely sure why. When he is confused with that, if you check Discord messages, but one more thing which I noticed is not a lot of drivers are actually improving their times, and what I noticed while going around the field is a lot of them are invalidating their lap times as well. So that has been a kind of a challenge on this track. Track limits are a little bit frustrating, a little irritating, and that's why we are not seeing a lot of position changes around here. But Sume has gone P5 season.
Yeah, it's Sumi, by the way. I've been corrected last weekend. It's not
Right.
Sume, it's Sumi.
Sume. Okay.
Just like it's racing Gupt, not racing UPT. So Sumi has put in a 131.3, still 6 tenths off pole lap, and I don't think he will have enough time to go for another lap. So I think that's his qualifying done, unless he has enough full end push. So we have Space Cadet, who's about to come across the penultimate corner, as I think he's planning to give his teammate a nice juicy tour once he starts his lap. So let's see, he goes a bit deep. This is the apex, just a final corner to go, and doesn't use the full track, and he does a 133.0, improves by a tenth, but not from the position point of view. So let's have, I didn't even see what the tire compounds are. So everyone is on the soft compound tires. Redstone has his best time on the mediums, but now he's on the softs again, so he's definitely looking to improve on his position. So this is Sochi. So turn one, you know how dangerous it can be. It's a wide track, very fast right kink, should I say, not even a corner. You think pole or P2 or front row is the best place to start this race.
No, I don't think so.
Very straightforward.
You
And I
get a
and I
really,
agree. And I agree.
yeah, you
I
get a
think just
really
like
good throw.
Mexico,
Yeah, yeah.
it's in the same bracket. Yeah, very high chance of crashing out.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. You don't know how fast you need to be to get that P2 or P3 or maybe even P4. So it's a weird one. We saw Bottas doing something which was a little bit, I don't know, edgy, where he gave Verstappen the toe so that he qualifies ahead of him probably, or at least qualifies ahead of someone else, as Azun has got P3 here. Or rather, he's on a lap right now. Sorry, I think there was some change in position. Did Jinsanity go faster? Not entirely sure there.
Oh, well, I just got a message here. Should be interesting. So, Jin has a 5 place grid drop for having a contact with his teammate. So, this is interesting. Both Williams were on this the weekend of 750th Grand Prix, FYI. This doesn't look good in the virtual world for the Williams boys.
Jin is on a lap right now. He's about to complete, and I think he was improving. So let's see if this results. Oh, he just invalidated on the penultimate corner.
30.6. That was a pole lap. And he invalidates. So he'll start no higher than 4 and +5. So no higher than 9th. That's really unfortunate. I see a McLaren behind. Okay, Azun is going back in the pits. It's a Red Bull coming up across the line. I think that should be oxidized. Where is he? Oh, he's done.
Nishan
There.
is on a lap and is improving behind in the Alpha Tauri.
Where is Nishan in here?
Just around the
there
final
he
corner
is.
now.
Yeah, final corner.
Ooh.
P4. Oh, and he drifts and he. Well, this is end of qualifying of the race. And oh, the McLaren goes right through.
Yeah, he could have been P3 here had he not lost a little bit of the traction at the final corner. But P4 not a bad place to start. I think that confirms the pole for HVP or Herschel.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah.
That is it. Yeah, Mayank was the last one and he just goes back into the pit. So we are done with our qualifying. And 30.7. Oh, we got a 30.6 from Jin, but that was invalidation. So a mid 130 is exactly what I predicted. So at least I got some prediction right. And and as you predicted, HVP is on the pole. So this should be quite interesting.
Yeah, I think he would be hoping his race doesn't turn out the last time he was on pole. And judging by the link which you put on Discord, Caesar, pole doesn't guarantee a podium finish or a race win. So he has to be careful into turn 1 because there will be really fast drivers taking the advantage of the toe behind him into what is technically turn 2, the first braking zone. And let's see how they stack up against each other.
Yeah, I mean, Renault on pole in Russia doesn't go well, at least in my world.
Oh yeah, it was a Renault, I forgot that.
It's exactly that. So before we proceed any further, let's have a look at the starting grid. So HVP or Herschel puts his Renault on pole with a 130.7. The only man in 130s, followed by Mayank, Azun, Nishan, Jin, Sid Venkatesh, Sumi, Shah, Ace, Redstone, Suraj, Quick Color, Crazy Mouse Monster, Sid Kulkarni, Space Cadet, Rohit Koil, Oxidized Steves, Thakur and Saurabh Naik. And the big news out of this in qualifying is Jinsanity has that 5-place grid drop in the 750th Grand Prix for the Williams. Interesting.
Yeah, and I think Suraj is the first person who will have tire choice in P11. So let's see. I have seen people here, not here, but around the leagues as well, not really going for the Norton strategy, necessarily. Even if mediums to softs is absolutely perfectly doable, but because there's a high risk of safety car here, you want to start on those softs, and if there's an early safety car, then get on those hard tires and go to the end. So I will not be surprised if I see some drivers starting on the softs even outside the top 10.
Yeah, this is the same fate I suffered in my previous Russian race that we were talking about. I started on pole, pitted while leading the race, but the safety car came out as soon as I came out of the pits, and I was put right at the back, and race just went downhill from there. So yeah, high chances of safety car. Russia is known for that. So turn one, we have to see turn one and turn two and turn three should be interesting on lap one. The patience that these drivers show should take them a long way into the race. And I see there are clouds in the sky. Let's have a look at the car choices. Yeah, and as you said, yeah, a lot of guys outside the top 10 on the soft. And Sumi, yep, as we predicted, is at the back of the grid. So even after sitting at P9 or P5 rather, he is, or wherever he was, P4, P6.
He was P5. I'm not sure why he's in P9 right now. Did someone else also have a grid drop? Because he was P5.
No. Yep.
Oh, that's because Sumi was sent to the back of the grid.
Sumi is in the back of the grid. So it's the entire grid literally is a Renault sandwich right now. So let's see. So a lot of DSQs. I mean, not a lot of, but sort of Nike had a DSQ, and I think Takova crashed on his first lap. But anyways, so let's while drivers are lining up or going towards the start finish straight, give me your top three.
Okay, I'll go for Mayank, Nishan, and yeah, let's stick with Herschel for now because he's pretty fast. So I think Nishan hasn't been on the podium for the last couple of races, so I think it's time for him, and he has been practicing, I know for sure, and he's pretty fast as well. So let's see. Azun has probably won in Monza if I'm not wrong, so not to take anything away from him, but yeah, that's just my gut feeling that these three might be on the podium, but unfortunately I'll not be around to see that, at least live, but I will definitely keep a check on this later on.
Interesting. So I think for myself, I do see both of the Renaults on the podium, even though one of them is at the back of the grid. But again, if safety car comes out and if Sumer keeps hold of his front wing through the initial stage of this race, I think with his pace, consistency, I think Sumi can throw his car in the podium contention. Besides that, I think Mayank is a very easy choice to have. But then again, it all depends on how they take the lap one and the safety car interference. So let's see. Yep. Predictions usually don't come out good, but we wait for everyone or sort of Naik to line up. Sumer is right there. So final car to line up, and we wait for the 5 red lights.
Come on, Cody's.
It should be out any moment. Yeah. And here it is. Let's hope for a clean start. And lights are off and drivers are underway, and looks like a pretty good start from Mayank. He is pulling away right beside HVP, and they are side by side going into turn one. And look at behind them, 3 wide. Anyone can take P3 in that. Nishan has taken P3 for now. Sid Venkatesh breaks really late, and Mayank out of nowhere breaks late and takes the inside line and takes the lead of the race, followed by Harshal, Nishan, and Shah behind him. Shah has gained 2 positions out of all of that, and Sid Venkatesh holds on to his P5. And there's a virtual safety car already, and Crazy Mouse Monster has crashed out, and Space Cadet has lost a lot of ground. So something must have happened. I saw a ball out fly across from turn 1. So people must have taken avoiding action somewhere. Was there something that you noticed at the start?
Yeah, it was Crazy Mouse Monster and probably Saurabh Naik who came together at the back, although I'm not 100% sure because I went to the scene of action a little later, but unfortunate for Space Cadet, he lost his wing as well, so I think he'll have to come in for a wing change. But yeah, more importantly, Crazy Mouse Monster, our McLaren driver, is out of the race, and it's a good start for Shah as well. He has picked up 2 places in all that, and Quick Killer as well as Oxidized and Sumi, who you predicted will be on the podium, is already at 6 places.
Yeah, that was a pretty good and clean start. I don't see any wing damage on the Sumi's car, but up in the front we have green flag conditions, and yeah, Herschel wouldn't be too happy about losing that lead into turn 2, but it's a long ways to go, and sector 1 and the back straight are pretty long to make up all the lost time. So yeah, I think plenty of laps to make a comeback in all of this. But yeah, Shah keeping his nose clean and moving up a couple of positions as the time machine of left is messing up once again. It should sort itself out after some time.
Yeah, it should. And
look at the pit stop. Insanity and pit stop. So wing damage for these guys. So not the best of start for the William guy here. He is on the hard, so he is going all the way to the end. Redstone is on the mediums. Interesting tire choices. So what would you have done?
Yeah, so if there was a safety car right now, definitely hurts. But if I had to make a pit stop right now, then also I might have gone on a set of hard tires and trying to go to the end of the race, because there's a lot of time lost in the pit lane, and unless there's a safety car later on, if you are on a hard, unless you're on a hard tire, you will lose a lot of time trying to make the second stop work.
Yeah, but it's an interesting choice to make, because once you get the wing damage on lap 1 and you know Hearts can make it all the way to the end, you are already a pit stop down, and then the time lost during that wing change, so you are anyway not going to catch up to them even if you don't have to pit anymore. You think it's worth going into Hearts? Because at that point safety car intervention is your only hope to make your way back up. So you think medium would have been a better choice?
It could be, but my only concern in such situations is that if there's a safety car later on, then fine, I can probably bunch up and I have to pit anyway, because hard tires will not be a competitive tire, because everyone around will be either on mediums or softs. But if there is no safety car, and even if there's a small incident, a couple of drivers make mistake, I can probably take those positions. I know there's a lot of ifs and buts in these scenarios, because you never know what's going to happen for the rest 24-25 laps of the race. But in that instant of a decision, I would have probably gone on hard tires as well, as Suraj is going really wide out of that turn, and he is being chased by Oxidized Rage, who I believe has, that's he has tapped Suraj there.
He goes off track again. Yeah, so I was on board with them, and yeah, Oxidized had been putting a lot of pressure on him, and Sumi meanwhile has caught up to this back. So yeah, from the back of the grid, Sumi has already made a lot of positions, and he wants more, obviously. Judging by his quality pace, he is out of position, but Suraj seems to be struggling here. I don't see any damage on him, as Sid Kulkarni at the back lost his car. He has wing damage. Oh, Suraj goes deep, and Sumi taking that position away from him and into the top 10 within 3 laps.
Yeah, what a start from Sumi. And Suraj, yeah, as you said, is struggling. I'm not sure if it's, as you said, I don't think he has damage, but just not comfortable with the setup maybe. While his teammate Nishan is in the podium position and has a healthy gap behind him as well as in front of him.
Yeah, and speaking of Suraj, I see him locking up quite a lot into the corners.
Oh yeah, that's one more thing. He's absolutely going assist off, so he is not even using his ABS assist. Probably the reason why he's not up to his usual pace right now, but I'm sure as the races go by, as he gets more comfortable with these lack of assists, if I can say that, he'll be challenging for.
Is T-Scal at the back struggling? Because I see him going really slow. He's putting up yellow flags in every part of the track he is going. So can you check if he has any damage or not?
I'm checking. I'm riding on board with him. I think I'll ride off board, but I don't think any damage. He's not coming into the pits. So probably just had a moment somewhere in sector 3, which is why we're seeing yellow flags, but he cuts the final corner a little bit. And yeah, I don't think there is any more damage to him. As Sid Venkatesh is on the back of Shah Caesar, and the next time they are on the start finish straight, there could be an overtake.
Oh, Nishan is dashed! Oh, Nishan lost it. A driver who you predicted for a podium and was praising a lap earlier, he has just bottled it into that corner.
That's
And
the commentator's curse.
that's a tricky corner. I struggle on that corner as well. It's an uphill banged, away banged corner.
Here's Sid on Shah.
There he is. And I think it should be a pretty easy move. Shadavan decides to fight it and he holds it, and both of them make it in one piece. And he will have the inside line to keep that position, but which will turn to the outside corner for the next turn. And will Sid Venkatesh take that place away from him? And yes, finally he does. That's a switchback line from Shah. He's not giving up. He wants to get that P4 away from him, and he'll have the inside corner once again. And they're still side by side. Azul is just playing the patience game here. He's having the best seat on the track, and us along with him. And finally Shah concedes that position. So he should have the DRS.
I don't think he's done yet, Shah, because next up in a couple of corners is the second DRS straight. And there's yellow flag once again. I think that's just the game, Caesar. I don't think that's he's losing his car. That's just the game. But yeah, I don't know if you noticed. I don't know if you have your telemetry on, but Sid Venkatesh used his DRS for almost the entirety of the first sector while trying to battle Shah there. So that's how badly he wanted position. And look at the gap, Caesar, to position 2, and this has resulted into a loss of about 2.5, maybe 3 seconds, if not more, for these drivers because they have battled. So the top 2 can really not worry about who's behind them and just sort it out within themselves.
Yeah, that's there as well. So they've lost a lot of time to Mayank and Herschel, and I'm sure Herschel wouldn't complain of that. And so we've got quite a few battles here going on. Battle for lead, battle for P3, battle for P7 as Sumi is on the back of Quick Killer, and Sumi making up 12 positions so far, and he has a DRS assistance with him. Is he close enough to make? I don't think he's close enough, so he'll stay behind him for a few laps more, as Nishan has made his pit stop and he's right behind Jinsanity now.
Sumi is absolutely flying right now, Caesar. He is from P20, he is already up to P8, and I think the next time they are on this section of the lap, he will be P7, I believe, because he seems to have the pace on Oxidize, or rather Quick Killer, but he's just biding his time and waiting for the correct opportunity to pass the fast driver.
Yeah, and I think he is not close enough for now to have any attack on him. His ERS, he's around 30%, as I can see on his wheel. And yeah, I think he's not close enough. He'd rather save his ERS than try to overtake him on this straight. As Quick Killer has plenty of ERS, I see. So I think he's just saving it to defend from Sumer right behind him. So yeah, pretty opposite strategy from both of them when it comes to ERS usage. And I think and Sumi almost lost it, but unlike Nishan, he was able to catch it and keep his attack.
Yeah, he would be thanking his lucky stars. It was not the corner prior to that, because that is pretty unforgiving. The left-hander as ahead is actually on a move. He was pretty close to Mayank there, but he stays behind for now as Ace has gotten past Azul.
That's correct.
That's P5 for Ace.
P5, yeah. So Ace has slipped under the radar so far in 7 laps that we've been in this race. Haven't been on him much, and yeah, he started P7, pretty good position, and he has made his way up to P5, which he is in net P4 as Shah has that 3-second time penalty with him, and he seems to be losing ground to Sid Venkatesh. So doesn't look like
he has. So since Sid Venkatesh made that move, he has pulled out a gap of 1+ second that is crucial to Shah. So Shah is kind of on his own right now, and if Ace has the pace, he will be catching up to Shah, who has to now be a little careful since he has the 3-second penalty. Nishan has overtaken Jinsanity. They're still fighting at the end of sector 1, but that is Nishan into P13 and fighting Jin, who might not make another stop in the race, but Nishan might have to.
There's a bit of a tap from Sumi on Quick Killer. I don't think he'll do damage, but Oxidized Rage has joined in this fun for the battle for P7. So this could get a bit feisty for all these guys, and Suraj meanwhile is still holding on. He hasn't fallen too far back, So let's see if Sumi is finally able to make some moves. He has saved enough ERS, over 40% before the lap started. So will we see him hit the resistance? Take that P7 away from him finally. He is closing down the gap, but he's running out of ERS and the straight, and yeah, he's just he shoots the corner, did quick killer, but
oxidized.
Look at that corner cut quick killer had on that turn 3. Oh, it's just unbelievable. But yeah, oxidized.
So Caesar, what would you do in such a situation? I want to know your thoughts about. Oh, as HVP gets a 3-second penalty and he has lost ground to Mayank, but what I wanted to know from you is when you're battling someone who you are seeing that it's a little difficult to overtake someone, would you go for a move every lap, or would you make a charge every 2 or 3 laps, try to conserve your ERS and have a better chance at actually passing them rather than going with a half-hearted attempt where you are not entirely sure you'll be able to make your way past?
Yeah, what I've learned from my experience is you give a shot, try for a lap or 2, and if you feel that it's difficult to overtake, then yeah, it's better to preserve your ERS, force the driver to think into thinking that you are going for the attack and you're using your ERS deployment, but you just wait for that opportunity, and once you know that they're least expecting, you just go for the attack, and more likely than not it usually works for me. So I think Sumer, what he needs to do is, since I don't think he's close enough to go for another attack on quick killer into turn 2, so I think his best bet would be to save his DRS. I think that's exactly what he is doing. So he has a DRS and just use that to close on the gap and stay in front of Oxidized behind him, who has a 3-second penalty, as that was a corner cut by Sumir, as he almost lost his car, but again managed to catch it up. So he is struggling on these tires. The pit window will be open as Oxidized is looking for the move on the inside, but no. So pit window will be opening as Suraj is going wide on every corner I see. For some reason he's missing his braking point. So
he's having issues with his brake in all race, Caesar. I think, not sure if this calibration is an issue or something else, but Sid Venkatesh gets a 3-second penalty as well, and the gap up front is now 1.5 seconds. So Mayank seems to have probably used or taken care of his soft as well. But that's Oxidized, who's into the wall. Suraj is past, and I'm very, very sure that would be wing damage for Oxidized in the Red Bull.
That is quite a massive wing damage. What exactly happened? I missed that.
So it's the corner where I also lost it. So it's a corner where that's just before the long backstreet, the right-hander, and I think he got a little bit too eager on the throttle and lost traction at the exit.
That's really unlucky. Oxidized looked.
Okay, so Shah is into the pits. So that's the first of the pit stops for the top runners. Shah is into the pits, I'm assuming, on a set of mediums.
Yeah, the pit window opens at around lap 11, so Shah is going for undercut. Oxidized obviously had to pit, he had no choice. As Sumer is going for an attack, who we've been told it's his 16th birthday today. So happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Sumer. Caesar, I need to interrupt you here.
Yep.
I think I might need to go off here.
Alright, yeah, it's time for your commentary. So, thanks.
It's time for me to jump into some other comms box. But all the best for the rest of the race. Right. And I will see you tomorrow at the post-race podium interviews for Division 1.
Don't get ahead of yourself.
Either ways, have a good race, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Alright, see ya, bye.
Bye.
Alright, so it's back to just me, so all you get to hear is me blabbering about for the next 17 or so laps. So so I was saying, wishing Sumer a very happy 16th birthday, and he is definitely flying, starting last after qualifying P6 if I'm not wrong. The game put him at the back simply because he joined the session mid-quali, and the game tends to put you back, and as the leaders are into the pits, Mayank and HVP are both going into the pits, and they will definitely be going for a set of mediums. Will anyone else pit? The guys are staying. So Suraj behind, I think he's going for an undercut as he brakes and almost I think he had it under control. So Mayank is in. HVP or Herschel is in. Azul, so a lot of guys are in except Ace, Quickler and Sumer. And I think, speaking from Sumer's point of view, I think he should have gone for the undercut, because lap 11 is a pretty decent spot to make a pit stop, and he would have definitely caught Quickler napping by going in the pits, but he has decided to stay out, so maybe he's feeling comfortable there, and yeah, maybe he can just try to push even more. But you know, something that we're seeing for the past few laps, Sumer is struggling to overtake Quickler, at least from our point of view. He is struggling, and you can see Quickler. Oh, as we get a pretty beautiful camera shot from the helicopter. So Quickler is managing his ERS pretty well, so he's not really struggling to keep his car in front, even though Sumer at the back has all the DRS and the ERS, and of course the slipstream help that he can get from the Haas in front. But Quickler seems pretty comfortable here, and if he makes his way into the pit stop, what's the gap right now? Let's just have a look at the gap between these two. Somehow we're not getting it, so I think it should be around 5 tenths, 6 tenths. So once they make their pit stops, as Quickler has stayed out, so I think this should work in Sumer's favor now. And who was fighting as Mayank is now gap. These guys have built Mayank and Herschel. Yeah, where is Herschel? Oh, Herschel is already past. So yeah, so these two. Oh, Herschel's managed to catch up to him, and he's going for the move for the lead for the first time after losing it into turn 1. Herschel is back into the lead. He has a 3 seconds, but he is P1 on the track, and now he'll be looking to pull away a gap to Mayank. He's using his Yaris, so yeah, he is pushing quite a bit here now. And all Herschel has to do is pull up a gap of 3 seconds, yeah, and hope that Mayank gets a penalty off his own. Sid Venkatesh, meanwhile, is staying in P4. He is net P3, followed closely by Shah. Look at the train that's behind him. Ace, Azul, Saurabh Nayak, who's yet to make his pit stop, but luckily for the guys in front, they all have come in front of Saurabh Nayak, who definitely has to go back into the pits for a set of softs, I believe, towards the end of this race. So, yeah, Mayank has fallen down by 9 tenths, and if Herschel can get that gap up by 1 second, I think we could have an interesting race in our hand. Let's go back up to Quickler. We hope you're not missing any close action at the moment. So that's quite close. And will he go for the move? No, he doesn't. Will Quickler go into pits? He's staying. He's on the mediums. Oh, that explains why. Okay, I just noticed that was totally my fault. So he is on the medium, so he will be staying out for quite a long time, so he will definitely lose the position to Sumer, who is in P12 right now, but guys in front, at least 3 guys in front, will have to pit again. So basically he's net P9 presently. I saw there's yellows behind. I don't see anyone going slow, so that should be alright, as Alpha Tauris are P9 and 10. Suraj, who pitted on the last lap, who is struggling with his braking zones to the entirety of this race. He's doing rather well, staying into P10, so should be interesting where Suraj finishes after all of that. And yeah, the gap is not improving, so it is now down by 2 tenths. The last time we were on, we were keeping a tab on them, and HVP is definitely closing down the gap on Quickler, who is currently in P1, not P1, as we are on board on our net race. He's trying to push. You can see he was using his overtake, but I think the DRS help right behind on that mark. I don't think it will be very easy for the Renault driver to pull up that gap comfortably. Yes, Sid Venkatesh has pulled up a second to Shah. So Sid Venkatesh showing really strong pace. There's yellow, Sumer. What happened? Does he has damage? He does not, but something surely happened. There was yellows, and he was the slow-moving car. He yeah, something must have happened. He must have lost his back and he's lost a lot of ground to Jin. I believe he was around a second behind Jin. Now he is 7 seconds, 7.5 seconds behind him. So a race that was going so well for him is not anymore. As you can see, the battle for the lead continues. Mayank trying for the move. No, not enough room for him, and you can see Mayank's red light is flashing, so he is out of ERS. He used quite a lot of it on the main straight, trying to take that lead away from him, and Mayank has that 3-second time penalty, so that explains why he was trying to overtake him. So instead of taking it easy through the entirety of this race, Mayank now has to ensure that he takes that P1 away from him. On tracks, there's yellows, as there's, who's that, Space Cadet? Yeah, he lost his card and he should be, no, he's staying out. So yeah, so I was about to say, so 14 laps in, or almost 15, we haven't seen a safety car yet, except one virtual safety car. So drivers are keeping it pretty clean, except a couple of spins that we noticed. I think overall the drivers are keeping it rather clean, as Azun is in the back of these and should be a rather easy move on the Mercedes drivers. So one Merc is driving for the lead, another Merc just lost a position to the McLaren. So you never know, it's a long race. Ace does have, oh look at that drift. So Ace does have 1 lap fresher tires than Azul, so we could see him take that position away from him at the latter part of the stage, as Herschel is now right at the back of Quick Killer. Quick Killer, who's yet to make his pit stop. There's a bit of a collision, and yeah, there's no damage. And for Herschel's sake, he will be hoping that Quick Killer holds up Mayank as much as possible. Quick Killer's an entire pit stop down, so I think once Quick Killer pits, he should be out at around P11. Yeah, I think P11. Because the pit stop is quite long at Russia. I think it's close to 30 seconds if there's no wing change. So yeah, just add 30 seconds to that, and that will put you in P11. But he will be on a fresh set of softs, so that will give him ample of opportunities to make his moves around him on a lighter car and on a softer, fresher set of rubber, as Quick Killer is about to lose yet another positions. And yeah, he goes a bit defensive, but he knows it's a lost cause, and yeah, he just gives away the position. And I think in a couple of laps we should see this has peel back into the pits. So the battle for the lead still continues. The gap is just under the second, and Herschel will be hoping that gap increases once he takes that turn 1, as detection zone is few hundred meters outside of this. As Herschel crosses this, he's still under the second, and yeah, he got that Yanis from HEP, and I think that's all that he needed. T-Scal meanwhile is in P19, a lap down, so he's the first car to be lapped, and Williams on their 750th F1 Grand Prix, not doing so well in the virtual world. So oh, the gap is over 1.5 seconds, so Mayank must have made some mistake somewhere that we totally missed. At least I missed. I am on board with him, so we'll have a look at that later. Elsewhere, is there any battle going on that we can keep our eye on? Ace. So Ace has managed to stick up with Azura Space Cadet, get a 3-second time penalty. So he's managed to keep his car right up with Azun and Shah in front. So this is quite an interesting battle for P5 between these 3 drivers. Shah, who is losing ground to Sid Venkatesh in front, but he's doing quite well rather to keep in front of Azun, and I think Azun is getting constant DRS from him as Insanity gets a 3-second time penalty. Where is he? He is in P11. So Sumer looks like he's not gaining a lot of time, even though he's on the mediums and Jin is on the 30 laps or so. Sumer definitely has or must be carrying some form of damage, and a race that was going so well for him, starting last and made his way up. I mean, he was P2 at one point, before he made his pit stop. After the pit stop, has gone down as our race leader is in the pits. As where is he? P6, P7. Yeah, he'll be dropping down. I predicted P11 for him. Let's see where he comes out. So he is moving rather slowly as Saurabh Naik is in the pits, and I think this will be his pit stop for the soft compound of tires. And where does Quick Killer comes out? There he is, comes out in P7. So that's surprising. He did come out quite far ahead than predicted, and he's on the soft. And yeah, the gap is 10.5 seconds to Ace in P6. So now with 10 laps to go, can he possibly get that P4? As Shah has lost, as commentator's curse has been put on him, and he's a second behind also. Pretty soon he'll be under attack from Ace as well on the next straight. So can Quick Killer on his Division 2 debut take at least P5? The gap is down to 9.8 between Ace and Quick Killer. It was 10.5 when he came out of the pits. So you can see the advantage just within 1.5 seconds. He's closed on the gap. But 1 second as they go side by side into the braking zone, and yeah, Ace, I'm sorry, not a zone. Ace has managed to make that move stick, but now can he close down that gap? Oh, what here? Is Sid struggling here because the gap has come down a bit? So I think Azul was being held up. If judging by that gap, and you can see the gap is closing down. So something up with Sid. I don't see any wing damage on his car. The gap is down to 1.2. It was over 1.5 seconds when Shah was following him. So looks like Shah was holding up Azul quite a bit as Shah thinking of the move. I'm sorry, but yeah, cuts that corner massively as Quick Killer 8.5 seconds. So in 1 lap he has closed down the gap by 2 seconds to P6. So he's definitely on the chart. So yeah, I mean P5. I think with 9 laps to go, he should be targeting at least P5. Let's have a look at the penalty situation. Quick Killer has 3 and drivers in front have 6, so he is at a certain advantage with the penalties there. Can he close on the gap enough to do anything about it? As battle for the lead has died down a bit. Herschel has managed to pull up a gap by over a second, and it's now at 1.5. And Sumer, you can see the gap is over 6 seconds. So not the best of the birthday, or at least the race when it started, it was going rather well, but yeah, he's having quite a lonely race all by himself. And so is Jinsanity, who looked pretty strong, got an unfortunate pit drop as was told, but yeah, not the best of the race. He's battling Suraj. Yeah, so Suraj is doing pretty well in P9 even after locking up in most of the corners. He is doing rather well up in P9. Was any other battle? Azun has meanwhile. Here he is. So the closest battle that we have is this one besides the battle for P5. So he's still on board for a lap or two with these guys. Quick Killer sets a 34.3. Let's have a look at the fastest lap. It is quick, but it's not a lot quick. Fastest lap right now after that is 34.5 by Herschel in P1 HVP. So just 2/10 quicker than a medium. I think that was set on instead of mediums, I hope. But whatever it is, 34.3. I think Quick Killer can improve on that a bit more going into the race. We have 7.5 laps more to go. Azun is right on Sid Venkatesh's tail. Sid Venkatesh has 8 seconds of penalty. So this is a sort of max at the fastest lap with a 1:33. What's that? 33.6. That's more like it on the percent of soft on a lighter car. So Azul right now is in net P3. Now what that 5 second was for, we'll have to probably just wait and see. Could be an unfair penalty, or could have been speeding in the pits for all I know. But so far, as of now, Azul is taking away that final step on the podium, and none of us, me, neither Malav, predicted Azul to be on the podium. But here he is, making his charge up. I think he started P45. Let's have a look. Started P3. Okay. Started in top 3, but he will finish in the third unless Azul doesn't get another couple of penalties or so. So meanwhile, battle for P5 is still going on. Ace, who overtook Shah a couple of laps back, still struggling to find a way past that Mercedes driver. So Mercedes is doing quite well, P2 and 5 as constructors, so they could be taking the maximum haul of points tonight, and I think that would really help them in the fight for the constructors. As Ashwin predicts, as I just read the chat box, penalties will decide the podium, and it has so far, as Sumer gets another 3-second time penalty. He is closing down the gap all of a sudden. It is down to 4.2. It was over 5 seconds, and but yeah, a race that could have been starting from the back of the grid. He is now down in P11, as Shah has managed to drop down from Ace, so the gap is over or almost 1.5 seconds, 1.3 currently, as Quick Killer is just 3.7 seconds, so he is pushing. Clearly has a lot of DRS in his tank. Sid Kulkarni gets a 3-second time penalty. Where is Sid Kulkarni in all of this? He is down in P17, so not a pretty good race for the other Haas, as the other Haas is on a charge and closing down the gap. Who's he? Oh, he's coming up to Teves. So can he get that DRS from Teves going into turn 1? Judging by his tire advantage, he could possibly. He is quite close. He gets a 3-second tire penalty. Is that a curse? That is definitely a curse. So he is at par. He does get that DRS, but he's par with Shah and Ace. So he was in fact next P6 before he got that penalty already. But with that time penalty on that final corner, he is in net P7. So now all he has to, I mean, not all he has to do, but he has to make that move on track to take P6 and P5. P4 looks a bit far ahead, 3 seconds. Azun is really pushing, but Sid is not making it easy for him. But I think Azun must have realized that there's just no point pushing a lot, and if he can just manage that gap, he has that podium safe in the back. Shah gets a 3-second time penalty, so this is changing quite a bit. So we still don't know where Shah or Quick Killer will finish. So Quick Killer is back again into net P6. So yeah, as predicted and as said in the chat, that penalties will play its part in the final standings. Speaking of penalties, Nishan, Oxidize and Rohit Goyal are the only one to not get any penalties so far. So keeping it clean, Nishan was in the fight for the podium at the start of this race, but just lost his car at the corner that he's about to approach. Takes in second gear, interestingly. Just looking at his telemetry, how smooth that is. I'll just steer on board, alright? Just have a look at his braking, the way he brakes and the way he accelerates. That's brilliantly smooth. Yeah, see? That's quite impressive if he's driving that. Let's see the final. Any battles that we can see? Sort of Mag is back off Rohit Goyal. I don't think he will be close enough. At the end of turn 2, Rohit Goyal defends it for a while, but yeah, I think it wasn't meant to be, as there's a battle going on here that we've totally missed. As yellows is sector 3, that's a racing point that should be space cadet, if I'm not wrong. Or could be Rohit Goyal, I don't know, but yeah, Sumer has managed to overtake Suraj. So Suraj is struggling. Does he have any wing damage? Not that I can see. Sumer can get P9 here. Luck was definitely with Sumer in his first stint, but he just lost his fit. Luck left his side, unfortunately. If you've been following this race, I think up until lap 12, lap 13, oh, where Suraj goes deep again. Yep, not the first time we saw him. So yeah, so if you follow the race after lap 11, lap 12, you'll see he was doing rather well. Was as high as P2 as Suraj has lost at the Nishan corner. So both AlphaTauris losing at the exact same corner. Will this cause a safety car to make it interesting? But yeah, with 4 laps to go, I don't think a safety car would be an option. But can Suraj go for the fastest lap? No, he's deciding to stay out, which is rather strange. He will end up losing positions anyway, so let's see. It's quite interesting, you know. Sumer has all of a sudden has found all of that pace. He was losing it. He was behind Jinsanity by 5 seconds, and now he is almost a second, 1.5 seconds so far. Where is Nishan in all of this? Nishan is P8, 9.9 seconds behind. Quickly, is he still as smooth on his throttle and braking? Yes. That's quite smooth. Compare this to Quick Killer. You see the application? Watch it again. See. Now watch him. You see how smooth that is? But anyways, Quick Killer, he is caught up right up to Shah, and Shah almost lost it, almost did it in Australia here, but he will have a DRS. It's activated. Yep, Shah doesn't have it, so he will be struggling. He doesn't have even DRS to attack him, and I think the smart thing here would be just stick behind him and recharge his DRS for him. Maybe a couple of laps and hope Quick Killer gets another 3-second time penalty. So Quick Killer showing that why the alternate strategy is pretty OP in this game. Where did he start actually? We just have a quick look. Started P11, so yeah, so it was the best position to start in, and yeah, he's just showing that why the alternate strategy works the best when you are outside the top 10. So yeah, he will be closing down the gap to Ace. The penalty there is very similar to both of them, but Quick Killer is still closing down the gap. Up in the front, Herschel has managed to pull up a gap, and yeah, he's just over 2.5 seconds, and I think the gap should be around 3, judging by the way the gap is increasing between these drivers. So Quick Killer is not still under a second, but he needs to be if he wants to have any chance of taking that P5 away from him. He's running out of laps, just 2 more laps to go after the completion of this lap. Does he have DRS? I think he should have it. Yeah, he does. So he is preserving his DRS, and Ace doesn't have any. So I think this is definitely an advantage for Quick Killer. But I think he needs to use his DRS a bit more now. He's not using it at all through the entirety of that straight, and I think he needs to be a bit more closer than what he was the next time that they are on the main straight. Like I said, he is running out of laps, and he needs to be, I think, at least 5/10 by the time the lap starts. Further back, let's have a look at Sumer. Sumer doesn't seems to be closing down the gap anymore. I think his tires are giving up. How old are his tires? 12 laps, and Jin Sandy is on 22. So Jin has basically done the entire race length so far on these components. Rohit Goyal sets the fastest lap, so he takes that fastest lap point away from Saurabh Naik, who was our fastest man on track before that. You can see, yeah, he is struggling there a bit, and where are we? Quick Killer, there he is, right on sustain, and I think the next time they come on the main straight, it should be rather. Look at the ERS he has, over 60%. Compared that to him, under 20. So I think the Merc will be a sitting duck going into turn 2, under the braking zone of turn 2. Let's get on board with the Hassman and see if he's able to make that move stick. He has a lot of PRS. The Merc has run out, so this should be a pretty easy move for Quick Killer. I don't think Ace has enough in him to defend it, and yeah, it's a pretty easy move. And even before the braking zone, The Haas takes P5 away from him, and Quick Killer on that brilliant alternate strategy. He's up into P5, so can he make a late charge for P4? I really don't think so. 3.5 seconds is asking a bit too much, as Mayank gets a 3-second time penalty. What's the situation? 6 seconds, but I think, yeah, the gap is safe enough to 16 seconds. So yeah, he is now. I think he is in net P2. I mean, he was in net P2, but he will finish P2, and I think Herschel can breathe a sigh of relief, and Herschel can manage to get 6 seconds more penalty now because the gap is over 3 seconds. So Suraj gets a 5-second speeding penalty. I think he is going for a purple lap, maybe take it on the final lap of this race after that wing change. Herschel will be starting his hot lap. As we see, the Red Bulls are battling each other, teammates. We haven't been on board with them much through the entirety of this race. So both of them, what tires are they on? Oh, one is on the mediums, one is on 7 laps on soft. So I think Redstone should have an advantage here. Yeah, oxidizes out of ERS and should be a pretty easy move for the Red Bull driver, or should I say for Redstone? Both are Red Bulls, so Redstone should be a pretty easy move. And yeah, so Oxidize has the wing damage as well, and that explains why he was struggling through the corners and on the straight speed, as well as Redstone makes that move rather easily, and he will definitely pull away a gap to his teammates. So coming back to the leader, who we didn't come on board after they made their pit stops. Where are they? So coming to the end of the second sector, Herschel, who qualified on pole, lost the lead going into turn 1 and into the braking zone of turn 2. Stayed along with Mayank throughout the entirety of that first stint. He is coming up. Oh yes, we have yellows there. Who could that be? Oh, that could be Gurney. So yeah, so just 2 more corners to go for our Renault man, who won the inaugural race of the season. Didn't have the best of race in the next 2. Goes to the final corner, starting on pole. The Renault man has done it again and takes a checker flag in P1. Mayank crosses line in P2, who had no answer to the pace that Herschel showed in the second stint of the race. Further back, Sid Venkatesh will cross the line in P3 on track, but it will be Azun who will take his second podium again after Australia. He will finish in 3rd position. Quick Killer starting P11, doing the alternate strategy, working it to perfection, finishes in top 5. Ace, meanwhile, pretty decent race for him in P6. Shah in P7. Nishan, even after that early spin, recovers to a decent. Oh no, he lost a couple of positions and he's down in P10. Jinsanity, who pitted on lap 1, went on to the hard compound set, and he ran the entirety of this race and finishes P8. So that was a brilliant drive from Jin. Sumer started from the back of the grid, lost his way in that second stint, but still recovered to P9. Another solid race from him. Nishan finishes P10. Saurabh Naik in P11. Oxidized in P12. Redstone in P13. Rohit Goyal and Thakurva will be the 2 drivers to cross the line, doing the entire 27 laps. Sid Kulkarni, Suraj and T Scal a lap down, and I think TNFs, who were the TNFs? I think Space Cadet and Crazy Mouse Monster, if my memory serves me right, and Driver of the Day. The games gives it to Sumer, and yeah, I think decent call, but he could have achieved a lot more in that race, I must say. So that's an opportunity lost for the other Renault driver, while his teammate celebrates on the top of the podium. So let's have a look at the final classifications for the last time. Herschel, starting from pole, finishes in P1 for the second time. So we have our first repeat winner, by the way. We hadn't had a repeat winner so far, and Herschel is the first one to do it. Mayank in P2. Azun drove a blind race in P3. Outside the podiums were Sid Venkatesh, Quick Killer, Ace, Shah, Jinsanity, Sumer, Nishan, Saurabh, Oxidized, Redstone, Rohit Goyal, Thakurva. Rohit Goyal with the fastest lap. Thakurwa, Sid Kulkarni, Suraj, and Thieves. DNFs were Space Cadet and Crazy Mouse Monster. So let's try to get our podium sitters on for a podium interview and see if they're able to join us. So I'll be right back. We have a race winner with us. Hello, Harshil. Congratulations
Hello.
for the
Thank you.
race win. Since you are here, we'll just start off. We'll start off with you. We have Mayank
Sure.
as well in the party, so just hoping for Azun to join in. But since you both are here, we'll start off. So Azun is here as well, so that's perfect. So we have all three of the podium sitters right here with us. So starting off with our race winner, our pole sitter as well. Congratulations, first of all, on your race win.
Thank you.
Talk
Thank
me
you.
through it. Turn one, you were side by side with Mayank, and turn two, and by turn two, you lost the lead, and you were right behind him through the entirety of the stint. So
Yeah.
was this something that you did on purpose, staying behind him, or you were just struggling on those softs?
Mayank himself was really fast through the first stint. It was very difficult to stay with him. At a point, around lap 6 or 7, I lost the DRS as well. So, as soon as he came into the pits, I thought, why not go the opposite strategy? But I thought, why not put pressure on him throughout the race as well? So I went as he went in. It paid off.
Yeah, I mean that looked quite. I mean, the second stint you were quite a lot faster than Mayank, and yeah, because I was thinking to myself that the pace that you were showing on your medium stints, where was that on your softs, and and
Yeah.
someone. I mean, I do races as well, and I totally understand that your setup might help you in one set of compound, and just wouldn't work in the other set. So
Yeah.
uh, yeah, that was a pretty decent race, and congratulations for your win. And you
Thank
are
you.
the
Thank
first repeat winner of this season in Division Two. So congratulations for
Much
that as
needed.
well. And I hear that PSI was coaching you
Oh
and our
yes,
other
big thank
podium
you to
sitter as well
PSI.
throughout the race. So you might thank
Shout
him
out to
as well on the
PSI,
stream.
yes. Shout out to PSI, yes. Much
Shout
needed
out
help.
PSI. So there you go, PSI. You got a shout out from our race winner. So well done to you. Coming back to Mayank, not back, but going to Mayank. So congratulations, first of all, Mayank,
Thanks,
for
Caesar.
your yet another podium. This is your second podium so far I can see. So well done to you. So just run me through that start. Your start was, I think, the best in under top four. So just run me through it. Run me through turn one and turn two. Was that a committed late braking from you, or did you get that space from the Renault to just take that turn two?
I thought the start that I had with at the beginning of the race, and that was actually pretty good. And I was side by side, and I knew HVP will give me a little bit space to do the maneuver, and I tried to launch for it, and fortunately it paid out. And try to maintain the gap throughout the entirety of the softs. Yes, once I got the decent start, I knew I can take him on in the second turn. So glad it worked out.
Yeah, worked out well. But during the second stint, I mean, your first stint was pretty good. You were staying in front. Uh, was that the struggle? Because was that you struggling? There are just two questions I'm going to ask. So was that you struggling in the second stint, or did that penalty that you got, that your first 3 second penalty, did that force you to push too hard and maybe burn your tires up a bit more than you would have liked?
So there were two things. First, about when to pit. The plan was to do an undercut on HVP, but he followed me, and I knew that I won't be that much quicker on that compound, and that was a bit disappointing. I was not as quick as I would have wanted in the medium compound, but I have to give credit to HVP also. He was phenomenal. I mean, he was almost unstoppable. I couldn't catch him at any point of time, and I mean, just the fact that you sometimes have to respect the other racer, and after the second stint, I think I was no match to him. So congratulations to him also, because after that first penalty that he had, he didn't had any in the remaining race. So kudos to him also. And after I got 3 second penalty, I was just trying to push my lap as quickly as possible, but he was too quick, and I couldn't do it in this race.
Yeah, and I think that's a very smart thing you said, that you have to respect the pace that other driver is showing, or your closest rival in the race is showing. Because there are certain tracks where you just know that you don't have that pace. Could be the setups, could be the tire compound, could be anything. But yeah, as long as you can just play it smart and take it as a long game, I think that what helps you take that championship if if you really want it. So yeah, fair play.
Yep.
So, and congratulations once again.
And as the shout out thing is going on, I would like to do it one for Ace for being there every time I'm been practicing, and for Seven also for pushing me harder and harder for each races. So shout out to these two guys also.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm sure they would appreciate that. And your teammate did quite well. I believe he finished P5. So
P6 he finished.
P6. So I think Mercedes
and it was
had
his first race.
Yeah, first race as well. So that's not a bad result. So I think Mercedes had the highest constructor points tonight. We'll just see after the race.
I believe.
So I think constructor-wise, Merc did pretty well. So well done.
Yep.
So coming back to Azun, congratulations, our podium sitter, third place. Not bad. Started third, finishing third, and just run me through your battle with Sid Venkatesh. At one point, you were battling Shah to start with, and you were right behind him. And then, as soon as you overtook him, you just pulled away a gap to Shah. So, was it something that you were struggling to do, overtaking Shah, or you were just trying to save your ERS, and was it in your strategy?
So yeah, I think it was kind of both, like ERS management and tire management, and also not getting a penalty. I saw Sid had an 8 second penalty, so I knew that as long as I stayed in the gap, I would have got the P3. Turn 1, I think I took it a bit too cautious, and I ended up P6, and I think that was where I was behind Shaw. He did really well. He had some pace, and yeah, shout out to PSI Legends for the good luck, and congrats to both Mayank and HVP. They had phenomenal pace.
Yeah, and I think that was this is something that I practice. I don't know if you did it on purpose or not, but if you see drivers around you, I usually, what I do is I just give up the positions if I know that I have the pace over the guys around me. It's better to play it safe than to just fight it too hard at the start. And I think that's exactly what happened with you. You lost few positions, but I think the pace that you had throughout the entirety of this race, I think that's what helped you get that podium in the end.
I think it was both pace and trying to keep it clean, waiting for the right moment for the overtake, and not fighting unnecessarily, waiting in the DRS and all.
Yeah, and I think served you well. So I think one thing common after speaking to all three of you is it's all about playing the patience game. It's a marathon, not a sprint, as they say. Especially at the start of this race, races are not won on lap 1 or into turn 1. So I think all of you showed just that. Herschel was patient enough in the first stint. Mayank is going to be patient through the entirety of the season. Hopefully, get a few more points over Herschel in the coming races. And yeah, and as you said that just have got to have confidence in your race pace to get those lost positions back. So congratulations to all three of you. I think it was a brilliant race from all of the Division 2, not just you three. I think everyone showed really good racing etiquettes. There was no safety car. There was VSC at the start, but no safety car at all. So I think that speaks quite a lot. Let's hope Division 1 doesn't see any as well tomorrow. And yeah, hopefully it's an entertaining one as it was tonight. So this has been Caesar bringing you all the action along with Malav. You Can Beat Me, who was there with us at the start of the stream. And we'll see all of you tomorrow, same track but with different set of drivers. And until then, this has been Caesar, and good night.